Alright YouTube, so today we are back again with another Fallout 76 discussion video. This time we're talking about the microtransactions. Yes, the game will have microtransactions, but Bethesda has said that it's going to be cosmetic only, and that whatever the cosmetic items are, you can also find those in-game. And I want to discuss today whether or not this stuff's going to actually be cosmetic only, because we've been burned before with other companies. Me personally, with Call of Duty, I know, big surprise, Activision Call of Duty, who knew they'd lie about stuff. But with Black Ops 3, David Vonderhaar literally said the supply drops were going to be cosmetic only. And then they started dropping weapons into the supply drops, which is a problem, because then that's all people are going to want, and then people are only going to spend money because they're trying to pull weapons. They're not pulling weapons, going to be disappointed, and when people are pulling weapons, it becomes almost somewhat pay to win, because some of the supply drop weapons can be very, very strong, and if you have access to it because you're willing to spend more money than me, that's a problem. Now, do I think Bethesda will keep it cosmetic only with the microtransactions? I don't know. It's hard to know, right? This is their BGS, their first multiplayer game. We don't know. The only thing we can really compare this to is Elder Scrolls Online, which we'll get to. But what could these cosmetic only items be? Like paint jobs for our power armor, maybe camos for our guns, maybe dyes or camos, whatever you want to call them, for our clothing or our armors. Like, does that sound like anything you care to buy? Maybe like cosmetic things for our settlements, like exclusive items for our settlements. But like, that I can see people maybe buying. But like, I cannot fathom looking at a paint job for a power armor or a camo for a gun and being like, you know what, I want to spend my actual money on that, because that just sounds stupid to me. And this is why I worry about it and why I'm making this video, because those things don't sound interesting to me. But if Bethesda were to offer, say, an exclusive gun in the microtransaction store, whether it be Creation Club or whatever, like, I might actually buy that. Like, there's some badass assault rifle that's only in this store and you got to spend money to get it, and that's the only way you can get it, and maybe you can't even loot it at all in the game. I could see myself potentially buying that. Which I know some people might have a problem with, but like even in Call of Duty, like Black Ops 3, the game I've been playing for like 3 or 4 years now, like if I could outright purchase the guns in that game and it wasn't an absurd price, I probably would. Now really quickly, if we take a look at the Crown Store for Elder Scrolls Online, as a comparison, you can buy things like dyes, you can buy stuff for your houses in the game, you can buy outfits, you can buy mounts, non-combat pets, crafting items, things like that. But there's also crown crates. Now this is essentially the supply drops of Elder Scrolls Online. You buy the crowns for the Crown Store, you spend the crowns to buy crown crates, and then you just kind of, it's up in the air what you get. And the issue with loot boxes, crown crates, supply drops, whatever, is you're generally going after a certain item, and there's no way to guarantee that. It's all random, so you're literally just giving them your money for free, because the odds aren't that likely you're going to get the item that you want, and that's what the issue is. Even if supply drops, loot boxes, whatever, contain cosmetic-only items, it's still an issue. Another issue with the crowns is you have to buy them in certain amounts. Like right here, obviously $750, $1,500, you see it on the screen. And things cost a certain amount. You can't just outright buy something. You know, an item in ESO doesn't cost, $2, $5. You have to buy the crowns first, which generally means you're going to have to buy more than what you probably need. You're going to have some left over, so you're wasting money, essentially. And that is a big issue. And I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure it's something like that with Creation Club, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm hoping there's not something like that when it comes to the microtransactions for Fallout 76. I would much rather, if I'm going to buy something, just outright buy with cash, not some in-game currency. Like, in-game currencies are a problem too. Nobody really rants about it. I'm sure there have been plenty of people out there, but you only really hear about the loot boxes. But in-game currencies are a problem. You have to spend real-world money on an in-game currency, probably an amount that's more than what you actually need. And then you're going to have this leftover that's going to be a waste if you don't ever use it. It's probably going to be an amount that's not enough to buy something that you want, so then you're again forced to buy more in-game currency, thus the vicious cycle. Now, still on the Elder Scrolls Online examples, pretty much everything with the Crown Store is cosmetic only, but there are a few things that are questionable that can be on a level of pay to win. You have these like scroll things you can buy for experience. They give you, I think, 50% extra experience. That is an issue. That's what people complain about when they talk in pay to win. Clash of Clans, for example, you can spend money on gems. You use gems to finish your building your like defenses faster. Like you get buildings done quicker instead of waiting a week at a time or whatever. And this is very similar. You're spending money to earn experience quicker, so you're leveling faster. You're going to be stronger than other people. You're going to have more skills than other people. Like it's just a fact. This is a level of pay to win. Something else ESO has is these research things you can buy with crowns that allow you to research things faster. So if you haven't played ESO, what it is when you come across armors and weapons, they'll have abilities, traits. And you break those down at like the blacksmithing tables and things, and you learn those after a set amount of time. And the more you know in that category of weapon, the longer it takes. So like when you're in like some of the later like traits, when you're down to like almost all the traits max, you're waiting like a month at a time, and you can buy these research things that allow you to like reduce that shit by like 7 days at a time. And again, that's pay to win. You're learning these abilities really quickly, quicker than you should be learning them. Now, I won't argue that ESO is like 99% cosmetic only, but you can't argue that leveling quicker and learning traits quicker isn't pay to win. Like, you're getting stronger, you're learning more skills, and with the traits, you're learning more abilities for your weapons and armors for crafting that are going to make you stronger in combat. Like, it is legitimately pay to win. Plus, ESO has PvP. And the reason I'm using these ESO examples is I don't want this shit in Fallout 76. Just because they're telling us that the items are going to be cosmetic only, and we can earn them in-game, we can find them in-game, doesn't mean there's not going to be their version of an experience scroll. And maybe with the settlements, there is something that qualifies as researching, and who's to say there won't be something you can buy that makes you research faster. And speaking of the settlements and crafting, we know in the late game of Fallout 76, you get the nukes to blow up a certain location on the map, whichever location you want to blow up, and it changes that area into a highly irradiated zone, high-level zone, and there's rare resources there. We don't know exactly what these are for. Are they settlement-based stuff? Are they weapon and armor-based? We don't exactly know. But who's to say at some point they don't drop these rare resources into the Creation Club, and you can give Bethesda X amount of Creation Club points or actual dollars, and you can buy those outright instead of having to loot them. And we don't know what these rare resources are for. They could be for really strong abilities on our weapons and armors, or it could be for like really badass things in our settlements, or maybe really strong defenses in our settlements. Obviously, we're going to have like turrets and other defenses, things that we've seen in Fallout 4, but maybe there's even more things that require rare resources to make that are really strong, and that could be a level of pay to win, because obviously other players can attack our settlements. And if I can access these really strong weapons by giving Bethesda money, that becomes an issue. Look, this isn't meant to be a video to rile people up, get people scared or worried about the microtransactions for Fallout 76, but it's hard for them not to fall into that cycle. They've seen so many other games that make tons of money off this stuff. And while I'm sure the cosmetic-only items will make them a good amount of money, I'm not somebody who's going to buy that stuff. If they were to put weapons in there and stat boosting things like experience boosts and things like that, that stuff will also make them a lot of money. But if they do that, the game can fall into something like a pay-to-win game, and that will become a big problem. To do a quick kind of recap of what I don't want from the microtransactions for Fallout 76 is I don't want any kind of loot boxes, I don't want any kind of in-game currency, which they're probably going to be the Creation Club, which has its own currency, and I don't want anything that's RNG, no random number generators. I don't want to spend money or in-game currency on something that randomly gives me an item. I want to know what I'm getting at all times. I'm not upset in any way about Fallout 76 having microtransactions. This is going to fund all the free updates, DLCs, and add-ons for this game for years to come, and I'm okay with that. I just don't want certain things in there. So as always, guys, let me know your thoughts below. What do you think? Are you worried about the microtransactions for Fallout 76? Do you think they'll remain cosmetic only, or do you think Bethesda will have dollar signs in their eyes and go back on what they said? Now, before we do the outro, your boy made a Discord, had a couple people suggest that I do, so I'll have it as the pinned comment, and also try to remember to add it to the description of the videos. So let's do the usual outro. Hopefully you guys went on to enjoy the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while, quit